Which fictional death hit you the hardest? Spoilers. Vincent Nigel Murray, Bones, please don't make me leave. A friend and I had a joke about Bones syndrome, which is where you know the series you're watching had gone to shit, but you can't stop watching it because you want to know how it ends. The cure is a dose of Nigel Murray death. Haven't watched an episode since. The ending was awful emo. I was really hoping for a big twist, but no. They got all the twists out midway through the series by killing everyone people liked. When I was a small child, my father invented stories about a truck that worked hard and drove challenging roads all over the world. Then he ran out of stories and sent the truck to the junkyard. Made me very sad as a small child who loved trucks. At age 66, makes me sad to remember. Could make a great children's book / show. And then hipsters find the old truck in the junkyard and refurbish it for the pilot of a reality TV show about edgy dudes with tattoos who refurbish old cars. Junkyard Wars or something. It probably exists already. John Coffey, The Green Mile. A sweet and innocent soul, blessed or cursed with the gift of sight. Sight into people's hearts and minds. He was accused of murder, having come across the bodies of 2 murdered children whom he had tried to save. He healed and eased others' suffering by taking it into himself. The scene where he is in the electric chair, terrified, and everyone is watching with accusatory eyes. The guards know of his innocence and are heartbroken because there is nothing they can do. That scene gets me every time. Michael Clarke Duncan was a magnificent pick for that role. Spock. Saw it in the theater. Didn't know it was common. No internet spoilers back then, lol. For me this is a double cry. First when he actually dies, and second when Kirk's voice breaks when he says, "Of all the souls I have encountered in my travels, his was the most human." One of the best lines in all of the Star Trek universe. Brooks in Shawshank Redemption. Brooks was here. So was Red. Charlotte in Charlotte's Web. It's been 40 years, and I still can't even think about it without getting choked up. Edit. Wow, this blew up. Thanks, everyone, especially for the silver. I was in the back of our big green 1972 station wagon when I finished the book, and I remember so very clearly what a complete wreck I was. Glad to know I'm not alone. But her little spitterlings are out there at least. Granny Weather Wax from Terry Pratchett's Discworld. It was the last novel and released just after his death. Granny dying mirrored that Terry was in fact gone too. Such a magnificent author. The resemblance is made even more apparent by Granny being a witch, meaning that she knows she's about to die. She sees it coming and calmly prepares for it. I imagine Terry writing this scene, knowing full well his own life was coming to an end very soon. In a sense, he wrote this scene about himself. He is Granny, feeling death closing in on him, and calmly preparing for his departure. I'm going to make it worse. Neil Gaiman has revealed that Terry never got to finish the actual ending for that book that reveals Granny was actually inhabiting you, the cat, the entire time, and then when everything is settled leaves, and says to death, "I'm leaving on my own terms now." So it's even more of a parallel, because neither he or Granny ended up making it to leaving on their own terms. Sirius Black. As a kid, I lived through Harry vicariously, as he seemed to go through bad shit just like me. But unlike me, he suddenly had a father figure who loved him, didn't treat him like a child. Someone Harry finally felt owed him as a parent unconditionally. Seeing that particular safety violently yanked from Harry made him put the book down for a few days. Seeing that particular safety violently yanked from Harry, let's take the time to thank Molly Weasley for that fact, that Harry didn't turn into a violent, broken serial killer after that, because damn. Sweets from Bones. Did not see that coming. My sister refuses to watch Bones anymore because of Sweet's death. That is when I bailed too. I was getting tired of it, but wanted to see how they ended it. But then they killed Sweets, and I decided I didn't care enough about anyone else left on the show and finally stopped watching. Dr. Mark Greener. Oh my gosh. Somewhere over the rainbow always sets me off. I also cried when they found out Rachel had gone to medical in his honor. Yeah, I can't listen to that version without thinking about this. Not technically a death, but when Wally's memory banks got fried at the end, I felt that in my soul. Thankfully Pixar would never leave us on a note like that, but damn, that little robot moved me so much. I adamantly maintain that Wall is the best movie ever made. Charlie Lost. I've been rewatching Lost, and his death is just so tragic. Desmond tells Charlie that he has to drown so Claire and Aaron can be saved, and then Claire isn't even saved. Charlie leaves his DS ring in Aaron's crib, but Claire doesn't even find it. Then Charlie gives Desmond his greatest hits list, where meeting Claire is #1 on the list, and she never even gets that. It's just all so tragic and sad. Hate to be it to yap, but Claire survives. She leaves the island in the series finale in the plane with the others. There was this long period in which we don't see her, but she resurfaces at the end. She was with Christian just like the first time she went missing. Send me out with a bang, Sergeant Avery Johnson. For all you greenhorns who wanted to see Covenant up close, today is your lucky day. I can't believe it, the Covenant are retreating. We won. Prim. Threw the book across the room. What was this all for? Sinner's last scene always makes me tear up, but Prim in the books absolutely shook me. I wasn't expecting it. But the chapters after where Katniss just kinda gives up is so well written, holy shit. I read Where the Red Fern Grows as a teen. When the dog Older died after saving Billy from a mountain lion, followed by the other dog Little and of a broken heart, I was inconsolable. Not sure if this should be an apology or an appreciation edit. I would like to thank everyone for the fantastic response. I stayed up late reading the comments and blowing my nose. I feel a connection of sorts with each of you. I'm 40-ish years old, and I'm surprised that the book is still messing with kids' innocence. We read that book in school. Teacher had to have us read that chapter because she couldn't do it. It had been part of the school book list like forever. She had to have read that book like 20 times and still couldn't hold it together. Edit seems like this is a nationwide thing. Unless everyone here went to / taught at Jim Bridger Elementary circa 1996. Atreus horse Artax. A detail not in the movie from the book is that Artax actually speaks and begs to be left to die in it. Yup, and Atreus honored his wishes and walked away. Reread that as an adult and was like, fuck, that's one hell of a metaphor for mental illness. Whole fucking book was just one metaphor after another. Was Michael End just not okay or something? John Coffey, don't put me in the dark. I's afraid of the dark. Seema Butts. Goddamn you, Futurama. Why you gotta make me feel the feels. Oh god yes. And the little montage they had of him waiting for Fry. It's the montage that's potentially the saddest thing I've ever watched. And I refuse to watch it again. Not worth it. Glenn in The Walking Dead. It was so brutal. It hit me so hard I couldn't continue watching the show after he died. That whole scene fucked me up so bad. Glenn, Abraham, and Rick about to cut off Carl's arm with an axe. I haven't watched any more episodes since then. It's just too much. Ultra villain plotline that just never ended killed the show for me. I get the need for a protagonist and bad guy character, but they made Negan too evil and untouchable, then they drew that plotline on for far too long. Several seasons. I gave up on it. The first 20 minutes of Up. I'm still scarred. I've actually never seen the whole film. The first 20 minutes were so fucking traumatizing that I couldn't recover my mood and turned it off. Wesley Wyndham Price from Angel. By that point he was so broken due to Fred's death that it seemed like a mercy. Would you like me to lie to you now? Yes. Thank you. Yes. Edit. Syntax. I had forgotten about that one. I was depressed for days after that. Me too. Fred was the hardest for me, but I had almost forgotten about this. Mordin Solace in Mass Effect 3. Had to be me. Someone else might have gotten it wrong. The very model of a scientist Solarian. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.